Hey guys, I feel almost compelled to do this video, and it's not the video I imagined it was going to be. It was going to be a bit more lead into this. However, currently there is a particular Instagram video doing the rounds, and it's about Ozempic or Semaglutide, and which is a peptide that causes the release of GLP-1, okay, which we make in our bodies naturally. Peptides are a different class of medication. Some people are familiar with peptides, others are not. And the video basically goes into, I don't want to talk about what Ozempic is and how it works, all that kind of stuff. That's maybe for another video if anybody's interested. There's a lot of misunderstanding about medicines, and the GLP-1 agonists have been around for a long time, long time. And there's been different stages of development and different types. So these have been developed over years, and it became a big thing as soon as it was seen that they could help reduce weight by appetite suppression. It's all been a complete, it's been chaotic to say the least. Anyway, the point of the video I'm making is that this video is talking about a particular young lady who's been taking Ozempic, I think the branded version of Semaglutide, for a year. I don't know what dose she's been on. I'm not sure about anything else with her lifestyle, her dietary changes, her exercise protocols. So this is all assumption. But what you get from the video, and a lot of people now are jumping on the bandwagon and pointing and waving fingers and being very harsh towards pharmaceuticals. Understandably so, because we've been lied to considerably, and we've lost our faith in the medical industry due to things like COVID and other things of a similar nature. We weren't given the full picture, and we were lied to considerably, which those videos about a while ago. So all very touchy subjects. However, what the video really contains is the fact that this lady has now become osteoporotic and has osteopenia, which is a stage of bone loss before you become into the full stages of being osteoporotic. And a lot of people are now waving the fingers and saying that Ozempic or Semaglutide has caused this. Now, there are many things that medicine does. All medicines have a level of effects, and some of them which we call them side effects because they're the things we don't want to have. Every single effect is either positive or negative, and we want to look for in a medicine is something that has massive positives and very small negatives. And when used appropriately, most medicines have very small side effects. And this is about dosing, duration, that kind of stuff, and it being used in the right people at the right time in the right way. Now, all I want to try and say is that Ozempic, Semaglutide in itself does not cause osteoporosis. The fact that you are not eating enough calories and you become malnutritioned, that is what's causing the bone loss. And in fact, Semaglutide has an ability to increase protein synthesis. So when we talk about muscle loss and all these things that we're seeing, it's not because the medicine is causing it directly. It's because the patient, the person receiving the medicine, has been either advised incorrectly about their nutrition, diet and exercise, and their lifestyle has not changed. What they've done is they've taken a medicine which is changing the way they eat, the amount they eat. Now, if they're eating a really poor diet that's not supplying enough nutrients and it's high in calories, the medicine's going to stop them eating the amount of calories they were taking before. They're still going to be malnutrition, but now have even lower calories. So when you see any person have a reduced calorie intake, we start to lose stuff, and that can be body fat, which is a positive thing. It can be muscle mass if we're not training, bone density if we're not training. This is why it's recommended that when you take something that's going to suppress your appetite, we make sure we have really good eating behaviors, and we work on the psychology of food and food relationships, so we can establish better behaviors around eating while we're not in this chaotic state of I'm so hungry all the time. So it can alleviate that tendency to pick at things. And some people have a tendency to, all they can think about is food. This helps you to get out of that situation, gives you a hand up or a leg up, so you can break the cycle and then learn to have a better relationship with food, eat more effectively, and start developing better lifestyle habits like exercise, resistance train. All these things are critical in maintaining muscle mass. And we know that when you train, you lose body fat more effectively with exercise, along with the calorie reduced diet. So the principle is that Ozempic in itself has effects, and we can look at those effects. They're clinically defined, and one of them is not causing bone loss. The bone loss comes from not being in a place where you're challenging your bones to become stronger and denser with resistance exercise, or if you're sedentary or anything at all, then you have a reduced calorie intake, you're malnutrition, you're not giving your body what it needs. Of course, it's going to start to break down. Anything that's left to its own devices, it's called entropy in physics, breaks down. And that is what's happening. And then people are now waving their fingers at Ozempic is terrible, it's not great. And it's lots of medicines have benefits for people and it helps them to live longer. And I'm going to just quickly say that I've seen many people personally who have used Ozempic or Semaglutide. I would say a Semaglutide, it's not the branded version. Seen them reduce their asthma symptoms to almost zero, reduce their arthritis to almost zero, stop using as much neurological help for things like depression because the neuroinflammation is reduced with Semaglutide. I've also seen the reversal of PCOS with it as well. So Semaglutide used appropriately at the right doses has massive effects for beneficial changes for people.